Hey everyone, and welcome to News Radar. We're the show that gets you up to speed on the biggest stories in the gaming world. Today, we're diving deep into a company every single one of us knows, SEGA. But here's the thing, there's a whole other side of their business that has pretty much nothing to do with Sonic or video games at all. We're going to break down their entire master plan, and trust me, it is full of surprises. So let's get right into it.
So I want to start with a question for you. What in the world does Sonic the Hedgehog, the fastest thing alive, have in common with a giant, super flashy arcade machine from Japan? I mean, they seem like they're from completely different universes, right? One's a global icon we all grew up with, and the other is, well, it's something else entirely.
Well, believe it or not, they're both key parts of one massive company, Sega Sammy. Yep, over on the left, you've got the Sega we all know and love, making awesome games like the new Sonic Rumble, but on the right, that's the Sammy side of the business. They make these incredibly popular gaming machines in Japan called Pachi Slot and Pachinko. So you've got two totally different worlds all under one roof, working together in one giant strategy.
To make sense of all this, here's what we're going to cover today. First, we'll break down who exactly Sega Sammy is. Then we'll talk about how they are absolutely crushing it with their video games right now. After that, we'll get into the really juicy stuff, their master plan that goes way beyond just gaming. We'll also take a little peek into the future to see what's coming next, and most importantly, we'll wrap it all up with why any of this actually matters to you, the player.
Okay, let's kick things off with part one. Who is Sega Sammy? Let's unpack this gaming giant.
So it's actually pretty simple when you break it down. You've got Sega, which handles all the entertainment contents. That's the stuff we're all familiar with, the video games, the toys, the animation. And then you have Sammy, which is laser-focused on the Pachi Slot and Pachinko business. You can think of them as these super elaborate themed slot machines that are just a massive part of the culture in Japan. Now here's the key. The huge, steady profit from the Sammy side gives the Sega side the financial freedom to get creative and take big swings on the games we love. Basically, one helps fund the other. It's a pretty brilliant setup.
Okay, so now let's switch gears and talk about the part of the company we're all here for, the games. Because lately, Sega has been on an absolutely unbelievable hot streak.
Just how good of a streak are we talking about? How about this? They were ranked #1.
That's right. According to Metacritic, which, collects game reviews from all over the world, Sega was officially ranked the #1 game publisher of the year. They beat out every other company in the business, all based on the sheer quality of their games. That is a huge, huge deal.
Now, you definitely don't get to #1 by accident. This kind of success is built on the shoulders of some of the most legendary and beloved game franchises on the planet. Let's run through the all-star lineup that got them to the top.
First up, of course, is the Like a Dragon series, which a lot of you might know by its older name, Yakuza. These games are absolute masterpieces, and they've become global hits for their incredible stories and that perfect mix of super serious crime drama and completely bonkers side quests.
Then you have the Persona series from their studio Atlas. I mean, what can you even say? These games are just pure style. They blend Japanese high school life with supernatural RPG battles and honestly, some of the best soundtracks in all of gaming. They get all that critical acclaim for a very good reason.
And for all you strategists out there, there's the absolute powerhouse that is the Total War franchise. These games let you command these gigantic armies in just epic historical and fantasy battles. They are so incredibly deep, and there's really nothing else like them.
And of course, you can't talk about Sega without talking about the blue blur himself, Sonic the Hedgehog. He is so much more than a mascot, he's a legit global icon, and his recent games have been fantastic. It's this killer lineup that shot them straight to that #1 spot.
So, Sega's the best publisher in the world. Awesome. But they are not stopping there. For them, being #1 isn't the finish line, it's the starting line. It's the launch pad for something even bigger. And that brings us to Section 3 and their big plan for the future, a transmedia strategy.
Okay, transmedia sounds like some corporate buzzword, I know, but the idea behind it is actually really simple and really powerful. You take a game world that people already love, with all its characters and its story, and you just expand it everywhere. You turn it into movies, TV shows, toys, merchandise, you name it.
So here's the bottom line. It's not just about selling more t-shirts. It's about taking these worlds that you're already so invested in as a gamer and just making them bigger and deeper. It lets you connect with them even when you're not holding a controller. And this plan is already working like a charm. Just look at the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. They are the perfect example. They didn't just make a movie, they actually listened to the fans. We all remember that whole redesign incident, right? And they ended up creating this massive blockbuster franchise that introduced Sonic to a whole new generation of kids, a total home run.
And they're not just stopping with their own characters. After Sega bought Rovio, the company that made Angry Birds, they immediately put this same playbook into action. And now, the Angry Birds Movie 3 is in the works. It proves that this is a strategy they can use over and over again with these huge, globally recognized brands.
This whole transmedia plan isn't just about stuff you watch on a screen either. It's also about places you can actually go. Just this past May, they opened an official Sega store in Shanghai. In a world that's becoming more and more digital, creating these cool physical spots lets fans literally step inside the brand, get surrounded by their favorite characters, and buy exclusive merch you can't get anywhere else.
And another huge piece of this puzzle is animation. Sega is getting heavily involved in awesome anime collaborations, like on the series Sakamoto Days. This is such a smart move. It lets them tell totally new kinds of stories and tap right into that massive global anime fanbase, bringing even more people into the world of Sega.
Okay, so we know who Sega Sammy is, we get their master plan. Now, for the really fun part. Let's move on to Section 4 and take a look at what all this means for the future. What's actually coming down the pipeline?
And they did not waste any time revealing their next big moves. In fact, for fans of those epic strategy games we were just talking about, well, they just dropped an absolute bombshell of an announcement.
That is right. It is official. Total War Warhammer 40,000 is really happening. They are taking the iconic, grim, dark sci-fi universe of Warhammer 40K and bringing it to life in the massive scale Total War engine. For so many people, this is a dream come true, combining two legendary franchises into one game. And you can tell they're taking this incredibly seriously. The game director Attila Mohachi even pointed out that they've had a partnership with Games Workshop for over 15 years, and their goal is to create the definitive Warhammer 40,000 strategy experience. That long-term trust is a fantastic sign that this is going to be done right. But that's not even all. If we look at their official game pipeline, the future looks even brighter. In fall of 2025, we're getting a brand new football manager. Then on September 25th, Sonic Racing Crossworlds is dropping. Looking even further ahead, they're planning a bunch of new titles from their biggest franchises through 2027. And check out that last point, they are already planning games that are compatible for Nintendo Switch 2. The future looks very, very busy. So we've talked business, we've talked strategy, and we've seen the awesome games coming up. That brings us to our last and I think most important section. Why does any of this matter to you? What's the real takeaway for us as gamers?
Let's be real for a second. Why should you have to care about business terms like transmedia or look at income charts? Well, it all comes down to something really simple. A healthy, successful company has the money and the stability to invest in quality, to take creative risks, and to make more of the incredible games you actually want to play.
And right now, SEGA is very healthy. This chart right here shows the income forecast for their entertainment contents business. That's the video game side of things. You don't need to be an expert to see that line is going up, and it's projected to grow a lot over the next few years. And more income for them means more resources, bigger budgets, and more support for the talented developers making your favorite games. So let's just wrap it all up. What does Sega's master plan really mean for you? Well, it means that your favorite franchises, your Sonics, your Personas, your Yakuzas, are successful and they're secure for the future. It means Sega is putting its money where its mouth is to make those worlds even bigger and better. It means you can get excited for more movies, shows, and cool merch. And, maybe most importantly, it means there is a strong, steady pipeline of awesome new games to look forward to for years to come. All this success and expansion leaves us with one last, really fun question to think about. We've seen them knock it out of the park with Sonic. So, with Sega going all in on this transmedia plan, which Sega game do you think should get a movie next? Should it be the gritty crime world of Yakuza? The slick, stylish action of Persona? Or maybe a throwback classic like Streets of Rage? Let us know what you think down in the comments below. I'd honestly love to see what you all come up with. And hey, if you enjoyed this explainer and learned something new, do us a huge favor and hit that like button. Share it with a friend, and make sure you're subscribed to News Radar for more deep dives into the world of gaming. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.